That is my 1995 Eagle Talon Turbo All-Wheel Drive, TSI to be exact. So I owned it since 2008. Yes, this is 2009. I drove it for a year or two and then I decided to rebuild the engine. And I had a friend, still have a friend, is a brother to me. He started to talk me into, well, since you're already here, rebuild this, or since you're already here, upgrade this, upgrade that. And it turned into a full-blown race car. It is 2019. I have still not been able to finish this thing, so credit goes to him. Now, over the course of the years, I've done a lot of more other work on Evo and many other vehicles, and made me learn a whole lot. And another factor that kept me from finishing this car or making any progress on it as much as I would have liked to is because I'm active duty military. So it takes a toll on downtime for me and my family to spend some time here in the garage. So I've been getting motivated by all this YouTube content of people working on their builds and just getting exposure, and it kind of motivated me to trying to get up on the same thing. I don't think I'm ever gonna get too big. This is my intention is to just show you guys live time lapse of me rebuilding this. So if you're into this car, hey, you're gonna have some fun just watching. And if you're just into cars in general, then I hope you'll enjoy it as well. So my budget is, I ain't got no money. But from paycheck to paycheck, I'll throw some money into here and make some progress like that. All right, so what I have here is, again, the 1995 Eagle Talon, which for you DSM guys, you know that it's basically the same thing as a 95 through 99 Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX. So I acquired it. Its original color was burgundy, and I've done some work on it over the course of time, and I'll pop the hood here and show you the trunk as well, and just go over some things. So first thing is, you can see in the inside, maybe the lighting is not the best right now, so I apologize for that. Maybe if I get more subscribers and followers, I can afford better things, but right now I'm just using my phone. So the whole interior has been vinyl lined. I have a fuel sump system there, which let's just start with that, I guess, it's showing it first. Come over here. All right, so if you're watching this channel, get ready to spend some time underneath the hood and the trunk and under the car if you're into this stuff. If not, then we can adjust as time goes based on feedback. So what we're looking at here is two Walbro 255 liter per hour external fuel pumps. Right here on your left, on your right, you have a surge tank, I believe to be the most common terminology, and an inline fuel filter right here. And what I did is I mounted the surge tank, secured everything here. That clamp needs securing still. All right, so what I did is installed everything here in the trunk area, or the hatch, if you will. And this is all inspired by other race cars that I've seen. So there was a point in time that I was a little worried of the fuel being in the interior, so there's always a risk there. But I've seen many builds with the lines inside, and I think the argument is more of the temperature of the fuel to keep it cool rather than getting hot. Although it's a risk. There's many pros and cons to that, because now the fuel cell itself is going to be in the outside, in the bottom of this plate here. Oh, so another thing I did was cut the spare wheel well, and we had welded uh, sheet metal there, welded it all the way around, and that's going to give me also my foundation to install the fuel cell in the bottom. And I've already ordered the brackets for that to install it here in the bottom. And when that gets here, I'll see how I can record that and make it entertaining. So my idea is for this line right here, which is going to be from the sump here, so it'll come out somewhere here. I'll have to drill, put a grommet and some AN fittings all the way through, or maybe even just 90-degree coming out of here. I'll see how what I decide to do when the parts get here. And the return is going to be here, out of here. So if you're wondering what a surge tank is, most likely there's videos out there on YouTube that can explain to you. However, since you're already here, I'll give it my best shot. So you have fuel in the fuel cell, and as you drive around, you'll turn left, right, accelerate hard. The fuel is going to slush everywhere. So at some point, the fuel is going to push on either side so much that you're going to have a cavity or a void of, or an air pocket, if you will, in the fuel system. So now that in a regular system would just go to the pump will cavitate and send air all the way to your engine, in which at that point there's a possibility of the engine making a hiccup, starving for fuel for a split second. So that can mean losing a race, that can mean slight misfire or continuous misfire, and it can lead to many fuel related problems. So the idea behind this is fuel pump number one, which will feed from the tank, which it will see cavitation air, but the main purpose of this pump is to get all the fuel it can and fill this tank up. And if you look at the positions of this tank, let's just go here in explanation theory, is the fuel coming in here will fill. It'll eventually go to all the other lines, but once it's serviced, it'll fill, and then this will just be constantly on, so the overboard will just return to the tank. So now this surge tank is bled off with fuel. So now the second pump, if you see where it's going to be pulling from, it's going to be pulling from the very bottom. This is the lowest point of the surge tank. So that would ensure, for one, it's picking up where there's for sure going to be fuel. This one is making sure it's bled off, so there's no possibility of a air pocket going in to the feed line towards the engine. So it doesn't matter if I'm turning really hard to the right, really hard to the left, the fuel system will remain bled off, and any bubbles that this will pick up will just work its way up and back into the tank, while maintaining a bled off system into the feed at the engine. I hope that made sense, and I also hope it works. So you can see most of the hardware for this area here is installed. There's no wiring whatsoever on this side, because I have decided to install everything and then make a very clean wiring and install at the end. And as you can see, over the course of I think I got to this very point that you're looking at here in, sorry guys, slight hiccup, this is my very first YouTube video for a long time, so my wife wasn't ready. I didn't explain to her what I was going to be doing, so she walked in asking me a question, and I paused it as quick as I could to avoid interruptions, which, again, explaining it is an interruption, but I hope it's not going to happen again, or at least get minimized. Anyway, so the way you're looking at this car is the same it was when I paused back in 2013. Yes, it is 2019 right now, the end of 2019. So almost 7 years it's been in a time capsule, really in a storage unit for that long. And now I'm in a bigger house, make a little bit more money, and I can continue this. People have forgotten about this car obviously don't care because they never even asked until I start posting it again online, and then they start asking like, oh my god, you still have this car? And they didn't really care, so they didn't ask too much. But anyways, I care. You're watching this. I hope you care, and I hope you guys give me some motivation to continue working on this. As you can see, the car used to be purple. The previous owner told me when he bought it that he named it Ron Burgundy. I was like, okay, yeah, that was the end of that. So I did a whole Eclipse conversion outside aesthetically. So I got rid of the TSI rear end. I put a 99 Eclipse body 2GB, and it's kind of just put in place by, I don't know if you can pick that up on camera, but it's only bolted with whatever bolts I could put at the time, so I need to fabricate some brackets here. Completely blacked out the tail brakes and lights. What I intend to do is right back here put some like motorcycle kind of circle LED lights all in one, brake, turn signal, kind of wire it just for that one hole. I don't know if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do for a very first YouTube video, but just kind of going through what I know and remember. So I'm popping up the hood right now to give you a shot of the engine bay. So here, what you're looking at is again the front end conversion of the TGB 99 Eclipse. The hood is a carbon fiber hood. The clear coat was worn out, so I went ahead and got rid of that by painting it. So you're looking at the color of the car. It is a weird color, and the reason is I was going for like a FDE tan. So you look at the hood here. It flew back on me one time, and it had hit the windshield. Didn't crack the windshield, but it had damaged the top portion right here. I got that repaired, so it came out good. But onto the engine bay. The engine is fully built. We can go over the list of that maybe at some point. So it just sits here. The turbo is in a box. Everything that's you're not seeing, it's in a box, because this car used to drive just fine. I pulled it up in the garage, took it all apart, rebuilt it, start upgrading things, and some things are eventually going to get replaced, but never have got to it. So what you're looking at here, I have the tail light over here, but I am in a situation to where with the front mount intercooler, the conversion of the bumper, and me deleting absolutely everything at the time, I don't have anything to support this. So as you can see, I got a cheap Harbor Freight flux welder there, and I've been going to town. I've been welding things I already finished the fender install, so that's secured, not just from the top there. What else have I welded? I welded the bar there. I don't know if you can see it. It kind of holds this piece right here, because otherwise it would be very flimsy. There's a bar that goes there, but then it attaches to other things, which is also gone. So what else? I have these Evo seats that I have the bracket to go obviously for down here, but I got to weld them together, so I got to do that. It's going to require obviously some measuring, and I can get that in there. And as you can see, the dash at the time wasn't in the best condition, so it wasn't really too bad. So it was just cracked over here. What I remember, it's been so long. And let me flip the camera real quick. It's kind of weird. I'm not too sure what to look at, because you know, the phone thing, you got to look at the camera, but you kind of want to look at yourself, so it's kind of weird. So I apologize. My very first videos are not the best. If you look at my history, my videos, I've done other things. Again, I explained myself that I'm not a camera guy or anything professional of any kind of degree on that sense. I just like to work on cars, and I like to share stuff. So hopefully over time, I learn to do better. So right now I'm going to do my best to look at the camera lens right there and not at myself. So looking down here, what you have is, what I had was a crack here, and I had a friend that did some fiberglass work, and he explained to me that all I have to do is cut the excess pieces. We're gonna fill all the voids with like that wall foam hole filler stuff. I can't remember what it's called right now. And then we'll send it all down. He'll lay some sheets of fiberglass. We'll make a mold and go from there. Well, he was also in the military. He left to a different area. I left to a different area, and this was the end result. This is where we stopped at. So let me just give you an idea of what this is doing here. Is just laying here. Like, I cut it for the most part straight. On the other side is straight because I wanted it be a bolted on thing, and I can easily remove it just straight out. So anyways, it's all cut up, it's all hacked up. Any of the holes that I had, we were filling it up. We were gonna sand it, like I explained, whatever he was doing there to just tape everything up. Obviously, it was going to require a lot of more sanding and layering. The process is not beautiful, but I'm sure the end result would have been. That's where I'm at right now. Everything got kind of rusty. I have means to get all this out, blast it, media blast it, and get it all nice. Steering wheel, all that's going to come off. It's going to be aftermarket. And I guess I never explained about the 10-point cage. Is it a 10-point? It's been so long. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? That counts. And then if you want to do the gussets, just to add a little bit more support structure right there. Let me tell you how impressed I was with this cage build. When I jack the car up, I'll show you in another video. When I jack the car up from here, as it sits right now, the car is so light that it would lift these 2 tires and that tire. So I lift it from the roll cage point down here. I just lift it up, and all 3 tires come up. That's how light the car is right now. So the car looks at normal height here, although it is jacked in the back. But when I lower this part here, this side raises up pretty high. And that is on stock shocks. I have not bought anything aftermarket for it yet because I don't want to spend the money on that route yet, because I want to get to the big things. I want to get the car running again. I want to get the fuel done. I want to get the electrical done. I want to get the engine bay done. I want to get it running, and then I can do everything else, because I want to tackle the big things first. So let me know what you think. What is it that you think I should do? Obviously, there's people out there that know way more than me. Feel free to comment and add your 2 cents, whatever you saw in here, that whether you have questions, I can answer them. All right, so the background on me is I'm in a U.S. Army aviation. Been doing it for around 15 years. And being into aviation and working on helicopters, I have a passion and kind of a sense of everything aviation spec, if you will. So that's what you saw in the fuel system there. I kind of made everything not from Army parts, because that's fraud, waste, and abuse, but I get honestly all my stuff from Spruce Aircraft. If you want to go check out their website, it's really for like Cessna and other aircraft parts. But there's many things in there that I get. And that's where those fittings and things came from. Now, I want to do the entire fuel system with like aviation fitting style. I want to do the power steering lines like that as well. I want to do everything that fluid goes through those types of fittings, because they're essentially like quick connects that you don't have to replace O-rings or seals. You just screw, unscrew, and the flare in it is what makes the seal. So it's cost effective in the long run, but obviously it's a little bit more expensive in the initial part. How do people hold their hand up for so long in these videos? I got shoulder failure already. Can we do it like this? No, that don't make a whole lot of sense. That won't give me subscribers. Is that what people want? So, is this a good thumbnail? People say that a lot, right? That one? This one? I don't know. Let me show you one last thing as a bonus, since you're watching this all the way to the end. One of my other cars that I babied a whole lot, that kind of takes this spot right here in the garage, is not that. It is my Evo. Yes, let me flip. It is my baby. Always wanted one, could never afford one, and eventually I did. So here it sits. I have a boxes full of aftermarket things that I bought for this car. Since I deploy so much, I have all this money and nothing to spend it on. I just keep buying parts but never have the time to finish it. So this is what I got. Just give you a walk around there. Yeah. All right, guys. So again, that's my car. We got the build on its way. Don't know how fast or how much progress I can make in it, but I will, and I'll do it little by little. Thanks for watching. I hope you subscribe and stay tuned for the next video.